¿Cuáles son los principales proyectos que la Unión Europea adelanta en materia de logística y transportes sostenibles?
Well, there are several. Improvements in logistics and transportation can have significant benefits in several key areas of Horizon Europe, and especially in Cluster 5, which I just mentioned, climate, energy, and mobility. There is, for example, a project called Epicenter. It specifically focuses on logistics and on seamless transport of goods and aims to increase the efficiency and sustainability of global supply chains. It is headed by a consortium of about 35 partners from different countries, and these represent leading ports, forwarders, cargo owners, logistics providers, knowledge institutions, technology firms, and so on. So the aim here is for the project to create a sustainable logistics chain of the future. Now, another example which we have is a project called Logistar. And this is enhanced data management techniques for real-time logistics, planning, and scheduling. Now, here again, the objective is to allow effective planning and optimizing of transport operations in the supply chain. So for this, a real-time decision-making tool and a real-time visualization tool will be developed to deliver information and services to various agents which are involved in the logistics supply chain. For example, transport operators, clients, warehouse, or infrastructure managers. And then final example which I would give is there is a project which is called CogLo, which stands for Cognitive Logistics. And this is looking into the addition of cognitive behavior to all the involved logistics actors and processes, and to develop the environment that will allow exchange of information through secure networks. So there is a very broad and dynamic area in logistics and transport, and it is clear that digital technologies will continue to transform entire sectors of the world economy, transportation, logistics. These are already part of this change. So optimizing flows of goods around the globe is something where data science, for example, can play a major role. And there is finally also the green transition angle, of course. So global shipping has been on the rise in the past years, thanks to the remote lives that many of us have been forced into by the pandemic, and the convenience and accessibility of online shopping and the reliance on global transport and logistics. Those cannot be disputed, but it will also be important to redress the negative effects of this trend. And therefore, there's this green transition angle. We know, for example, that the International Maritime Organization has adopted mandatory measures to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases from international shipping. So maybe new types of fuel or more efficient technologies and processes can have a direct positive impact. Our European Commission has several calls for proposals in this area. For example, there are calls on innovative biomethane production as an energy carrier and fuel, or there is a call on carbon negative biofuel production, and there are many more.
De manera concreta, Daniel, ¿usted ve que hay oportunidades para que operadores públicos y privados centroamericanos puedan cooperar con sus contrapartes europeas en el desarrollo de vías de logística y transportes sostenibles?
Yes, well, as I already mentioned, Horizon Europe is open to international participation, and this, of course, includes Central America. In June this year, actually, the European Commission published the first work program of Horizon Europe, and this defines the priority topics and calls for the next 2 years. And there will be several good opportunities in the area of transportation, and the region of Latin America and the Caribbean has in fact already been strongly encouraged to participate even in previous calls. For example, we had a call which was called Mobility for Growth, and this looks into new logistics concepts and new disruptive technologies, for example, blockchain or Industry 4.0, or vehicle automation and truck platooning, or new business models like what we call crowd shipping and the circular economy models. And these will have an impact on the global freight transport, for example. So optimization, it's very important to optimize the environmental footprint of all these processes. Now, this project has been specifically designed for international collaboration, and Latin America and the Caribbean, including Central America, of course, is part of this effort. Now, another good example of how Central American companies, institutions can join Horizon Europe is a project which is aiming to demonstrate the use of liquid hydrogen in the maritime sector. For example, a shipping company from Panama is participating in this project. And it is in the area of fuel cells and hydrogen, and it works on developing and validating approaches to building and scaling up fuel cells between 3 all the way up to 20 megawatts. This will also lower the operational costs and the design costs of liquid hydrogen operations. Now, there are already some demonstrators which will be deployed in this project, and the aim is to have a demonstrator ship which will connect new hydrogen production facility with liquid hydrogen demand in a series of other vessels, and these will become the first liquid hydrogen ships in operation. So there is clearly a great potential for Central America to participate in Horizon Europe in these activities in broad range of areas, from clean energy, transportation, logistics, many others. So I have briefly already mentioned Cluster 5 of Horizon Europe, which covers climate, energy, and mobility. Now, all relevant logistics and sustainable transport topics in Horizon Europe, in Cluster 5, all of them are open for international partners. So Central America will be very welcome to participate in this. Now, the European Commission, of course, will continue also to encourage international participation in these calls, including Central America, evidently.
Potenciales socios, ¿qué tienen que hacer? ¿A dónde se dirigen? ¿Con quién hablan? Díganos.
So we already have hundreds of calls for proposals which are open, and more will be published in the next months. I will mention it very briefly. We have the work program for the next 2 years, which is going to support almost 15 billion euros of support to research and innovation projects. Now, the European Commission has created what's called a funding and tenders portal. And this funding and tender portals, which is very easy to use, is actually very useful to search for all the different open calls for proposals. If a company or an entity has interest in specific areas, they can see immediately the list of calls, they can see exactly in which area they are published, they can search for different opportunities. The thing is also that this portal is also useful to search for partners. So I already mentioned this collaborative nature of Horizon Europe. If a company from, I don't know, Costa Rica is interested in entering into partnership with other entities, they can do it through this portal. There are several different ways how to do it. It's very easy to do it. So this will be very useful way for them to connect with their partners, companies, institutions, and so on. So my first advice would be to watch this portal for any upcoming opportunity which matches the interest of a company or an organization. Now, the second action that they can take is to get in touch with the national contact points in the country. And the national contact points is a network which is established by the European Commission, and they act as sort of ambassadors in their country of Horizon Europe. So they are the ones who provide advice, who guide the local community in applying to Horizon Europe proposals or projects.